Jeremy the Impact York. Welcome into another great edition of BoardCheck. We are coming to you a little later than usual, I guess. Well, probably by usual on time. So much wanted to happen. I wanted to get some clarifications on some things before I come on to talk to you guys because there's a lot of craziness going on, and it's not just playoff related. We'll finish up this week by talking some Atlanta Gladiators. We'll talk some Boston Bruins next in period number 2, but right here in period number 1. Let's talk some NHL because there are some crazy things going on in the NHL right now. Obviously, the big playoff pushes, a lot of people clinching. I believe the Rangers are in. Boston's close if they're not already at the time we're taping this. The Capitals are in. I believe Sid the Kid and the Penguins are in. The Sharks, a bunch of people are already in. Everybody's kind of closing up those gaps. Only a couple more weeks left of the season anyway. Hope we can do well and get a good playoff seeding. I think right now we'd be playing against the Canadians. I think we can beat the Canadians if we end up against them. I really, in all honesty, I have no idea who we might be facing, but I feel like if we make it in, we have a chance. I believe we can win at least the first round, potentially go past that. But I'll talk a little more Boston in the second period. I want to tell you about Eddie Lack. Now, I don't know if you guys have been following this. If you follow me on Facebook or Twitter, you might have seen some of the stuff being put up. But in a game against the Red Wings on Monday night, I believe it was Monday. It was Monday night. Uh, it was in overtime. Red Wings player puck gets shot down to the zone right to the left of Eddie Lack, who is the Carolina Hurricanes goalie, and Red Wings guy gets to it first. He has a defender on his back. They kind of tangle, and as they tangle, they're skating in. He's skating in with the puck towards Eddie, and he goes to go past Eddie, and when he does, the player's shoulder and Eddie's head kind of collide, and his head kind of jerks this way. It's to the effect of, but it was a shoulder, it was the arm, it was the upper part up here, and Eddie just immediately just goes back and had to be carted off. They actually scored on that play, and it was a clean play. It was not dirty at all. The two tangled players just ended up going into Eddie like that. But Eddie got carted off, and everybody stayed on the ice. He got carted off at that point. I mean, it's the end of the game, but all the players were worried about him, and he went to a local hospital. They diagnosed him with a neck strain. For the pro wrestling world, that is a stinger, is what it sounds like to me. A stinger is when you do something to your neck, usually one of the top vertebrae. That would be the C's. The L's are on the bottom, the C's are on top. I believe it's the M's. If you ever hear vertebrae, if they say a C4, C3, that's towards the base of your neck. Those are usually the crazier ones. The ones in the lower back just affect a few things here and there. But either way, the snapping of the neck, kind of a whiplash thing. I think he gave him a stinger, which means partial paralysis, temporarily. It usually comes back, which it did. In fact, late Monday night, he tweeted out from his own personal Twitter account, "Thanks for all the prayers and the wishes. Looks like I'm about to go home." So, shout out to you, Mr. Eddie Lack, for not only being a trooper, not only being a great player and everything, but that was a pretty good shot. And, hope everything goes well going forward. Carolina is in the middle of a playoff push. But, first things first, Eddie, want to make sure you're okay. Love to have you on the show. And, just if you haven't heard the story, go, you can find on my Facebook feed, I have the initial story, him getting carted off. I have the video follow-up story of him getting released. So definitely go check that out. Moving on, we're going to brighten things up a little bit. Even though Eddie's good now, it's everything. Alex Ovechkin got a power play hat trick the other night. Now, what does that mean? That means all three of his natural goals in the hat trick were power play goals. You don't get that very often. That's part of why I say Ovechkin is the best player in the league. Nothing personal, said the kid. It has nothing to do with if I like him or if I don't. Just at the current moment, I think Ovechkin is the best player in the league. But shout out to him. I think it's his 14th hat trick, something like that. That may be low even. Might be 14th a year. No, it's probably 14th total, something like that. But congratulations to the Capitals and Ovechkin for their big night the other night. Like I said, I believe they're in the playoffs for sure now. Probably going to be the number one seed. If they're not, would surprise the heck out of me. The intensity is increasing because of the playoffs shaping up. You're seeing a lot more physicality, seeing a lot more cerebralness, trying to pick the perfect shot, the perfect pass. You don't want to mess up a lot of opportunities. So, you know, like the game going on right here, just across the studio from me, is the Blackhawks are just smoking the Penguins currently. I think it's 4-0, something along those lines. But these are two playoff teams that it's been a very physical game. So, watch all the games you can going up to the playoffs, and obviously watch as much of the playoffs as you can. It's playoff hockey time. It's the great time. You grow the beard out a little bit. You do what you got to do, and like I said, this is the perfect time in the world. If you're not sure about getting back into hockey, or you've been a casual fan, that's fine. Just make sure to check out some of these games, some of these great games, or if you're trying to get your friends back into it, now is the perfect time. So get them back into it. A few other things I want to hit before we move on to period number two. I want to tell you that this has got to be one of the craziest streaks in professional sports. The Detroit Red Wings had their playoff streak end at 25 seasons. For the past 25 seasons, they've been in the playoffs. That's since like 89, 90 or something like that. They've been in the playoffs. It's the first year they won't be in the playoffs in 25 years. So I just want to say congratulations to you guys on a 25-year playoff run. I don't even think the Patriots did that. I think they had a year off. So, I hate that you guys aren't in the playoffs because when the Red Wings do well, it seems like the league does well. So, we'll see you guys next year, hopefully. You do need to rebuild some stuff, and you guys do know that, as apparently a skirmish has broken out during this game. We'll have more on that next week. But, shout out to Detroit. It's always been a hockey town. I don't know that it's the hockey town, but it's always been a hockey town. And I look forward to hopefully getting to visit up there uh, sometime and check out and meet you guys, the fans. Same way out, same way with Boston, same way with any hockey town. It's meeting the fans, meeting you guys. That's one of the most fun things we do. And if it's not, then I don't know how you call yourself a media guy because that's one of the most fun things. Last thing I want to say is with the expansion draft coming up, the Vegas Golden Knights let some information out, which was later confirmed by the NHL, and they've also put that same information out. That information being before the expansion draft, which is upcoming pretty soon. It'll be before the actual draft, I believe. Before the expansion draft, a list of available players will be not only given to the Golden Knights, it will be made public. So we get to see who is on the safe list and who is not on the safe list. It will be very interesting and very telling. We will get to see who Boston wants to hang on to, whether that's Tuukka Rask, because there has been some actual, there's been a little bit of talk here and there. Trust me, very, very little, just a few things here and there that maybe they let Tuukka go. I don't know why you would do that because Khudobin and Zane McIntyre, who has recently been sent back to Providence, had not been that solid on the top level. So I don't quite understand why you would do that, but you could let Tuca go to a place like Vegas, but then you're gonna have to find a goalie on top of trying to fix the defense and score more points. So, but the expansion draft list will be made public, and if I get a hold of it, I will definitely tweet it and Facebook it out, and just social media in general, send it out, and that's going to do it for period number one. Join us here shortly for period number two on the other side of the break, where we will be talking some Boston Bruins right here on BoardCheck. We'll see you after the break. Yeah, we're back for period number two right here on BoardCheck. Jeremy the Impact York about to talk about our Boston Bruins. Now, the Bruins have had a little bit of a tough streak here. We need to start putting some stuff together to make sure that we do make it into the playoffs. There's a good chance we will. Some really goofy things have to happen for us not to. But let's start by recapping last week's games. Now, last Thursday, we were at home against the Tampa Bay Lightning, where the Lightning got the best of us 6-3, where Nash, Chara, and Pasternak had our 3 goals and in a losing effort, and 23 saves for Tuukka Rask. That's okay because we rebounded in Long Island against the Islanders, the New York Islanders, at least while they're in the Barclays Center for now. On Saturday, we won that one 2-1, where Mr. Nash, he's on a hot streak, had both goals, and Khudobin had the 18 save victory. I mean, look at that. Not only did he only have to face 18 shots, well, he actually faced 19 shots, but Khudobin got a win. Yep. Don't adjust your televisions. Do not adjust your televisions. I promise you, a backup goalie for the Boston Bruins got a win. I know we should celebrate, but it helps. It seems like Khudobin is starting to kind of get into a rhythm here. So right in time for the playoffs, it's very nice that we can now give Tuukka a night off and not feel like the barn's going to burn down. And of course, last night we had the win at home versus the Nashville Predators. That's good because Nashville's going to be a playoff team more than likely. So anytime we can show that we can beat people consistently, it will help our chances. In the 4-1 victory over Nashville, we had Patrice Bergeron, David Backes, Krejci, and Asiari with his first goal, his first NHL goal. So shout out to Noel Asiari. I hope I'm saying that right. On his first overall goal against Nashville. Tuukka had 24 saves in the victory. Puts us in a pretty good spot, I believe. Like I said, if we're not in the playoffs yet, we are within a couple points of completely solidifying it. So I have all the confidence in the world that our Boston Bruins are going to be in the playoffs. Your upcoming schedule for the Bruins. Tomorrow night, we will be at home versus the Dallas Stars. That is a 7:30 p.m. puck drop on that one. On Saturday, we will also be at home where we will pull in the Florida Panthers for a 1 p.m. kickoff, kickoff puck drop right there, kickoff of the puck drop. That's what we're going to do. We're going to kick the puck. And then next Tuesday, right before our next week's show, we'll talk about that in a second. We'll be at home again against Tampa Bay Lightning. It is a 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time puck drop on that one. A couple of Bruins notes. Defenseman Charlie McAvoy signs with the Boston Bruins. He was a draft pick from, I believe, last year. He finished up his sophomore year at Boston University. He has been assigned to Providence in the AHL, and there's a good chance that he could be called up to the big squad by the year's end. Apparently, he's a good defenseman. They have him log a lot of hours. They ask a lot of him when he was in college. So he is officially signed. He is officially sealed, and he is officially delivered. So welcome to the Bruins family, Charlie McAvoy. Told you about Noel Asiari. Once again, shout out to him on his first NHL goal. I feel there's a lot more coming for this kid. And lastly, the 10th annual Cuts for Cause. All the Bruins team, most of them had their heads shaved for this. And like I said, it's the 10th annual Cuts for Cause, where they all participated at some point. A bunch of them got their heads shaved, all for charity, there was all kinds of different VIP packages you could bid on, all kinds of different ways you could help raise money. This year they raised over $700,000 total, but they raised over $100,000. I think it was $101,000 this year just for this particular event, which is fantastic, and it benefits pediatric cancer and the Boston Bruins Foundation and all kinds of other stuff. And it's just fantastic they could raise this kind of money. And like I said, the entire team was there, not just a couple players, not just the guys that were getting their heads shaved or anything like that. The entire Boston Bruins team was there. And I believe maybe Patrice Bergeron was the one who put it on, along with the pediatric center and all those. But that's going to do it for us for period number 2. Shout out to all those people who helped raise all that money and all you guys that help raise money for everything else and all you guys do. But we come back from the break, it'll be period number 3 where we will be talking about our Atlanta Gladiators. We'll see you after the break. We're back here on Board Check for period number 3. I am Jeremy the Impact York. Welcome back. We're going to talk about our Atlanta Gladiators right here. I want to tell you about the recent games that they played. Obviously, last Friday and Saturday, they were in South Carolina to take on those pesky Stingrays. I mean, Stingrays are pesky. They did get the Crocodile Hunter. Never forget, bud. Never forget. Shout out to the Crocodile Hunter. Uh, Steve Irwin. That dude was cool. But on Friday, those pesky Stingrays gave us the big L, 4-2. But on the plus side, oh captain, my captain, Derek Nesbitt and Eric Neely also had goals. Again, had 26 overall saves. That's not a bad night. Unfortunately, we needed 29. But I can't ask any more again. He has been fantastic this year, and he's a super dude. In fact, all the guys that I've been able to chat with this year have been fantastic. So that moved us to Saturday, where they also gave us the big loss, the big mark in the loss column, 5-3. Scored one more goal, but so did they. Where Atkinson, Frazee, and captain, my captain, Derek Nesbitt, scored in those in the losing effort, and Matt Ginn had 33 saves in this one. Turns out we need 36. No way to know that. Once again, I can't ask any more of Matt Ginn. Dude's fantastic. Shout out to you, Matt Ginn, for being the most concrete goalie we have. And that bar is high. Every goalie we've had this year has been fantastic. Upcoming schedule for our Atlanta Gladiators. The game tonight in Norfolk against the Admirals got postponed. I don't know that they'll replay it because I don't know that this game matters to either team. But it got postponed because of bad ice conditions inside the Norfolk arena. You guys heard my take on that a couple weeks back. I know things happen, and I will give Norfolk the benefit of the doubt because they are a classy organization. But you have one job. Make sure that the ice is frozen. Like I said, things happen. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to say shout out to you guys, Norfolk, for making sure that since it wasn't in a playable condition, that you didn't have the guys out there on it. I appreciate it. So did all them and their families. Now, that moves us to this weekend, where I believe Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we'll be up in Greenville to take on those pesky rabbits, the Swamp Rabbits. Friday night, 7 p.m. puck drop. Saturday is also a 7 p.m. puck drop. And on Sunday is a 3 p.m. puck drop for that one. Not to mention that next week's board check will more than likely be on Thursday. And the reason it'll be on Thursday is the Gladiator season is slowly coming to an end, unfortunately, where the next to last home game is next Wednesday. I will be there. Make sure you come find me if you see me down that way. Maybe I'll have some swag, answer a trivia question, and you'll win some swag. Trust me, these trivia questions are easy. Just ask any of the people that have won from us already. But we are going to have some new swag over the summer as well for next season. But never know what I might have on me. So definitely try to find me at those. And, like I said, we'll talk about it a little more next week because there'll be the game. I guess we should talk about that game. They will be. I'm gonna get this right, so I'm gonna look this up real quick. This is gonna make for a great video. Let's see. We're gonna be facing. That's exactly who I thought. The South Carolina Stingrays will be next Wednesday's game, and then obviously on Thursday for board check we will talk about the last home game of the year, which we're actually going to have a handful of us from here. We're going to have if you guys want to meet some of the other crew that work here on the show with us, then definitely come and check out that game. Trust me, the motley crew that will show up there, not the band, the motley crew of us, we're hard to miss. We're hard to miss because we're like rock stars when we go out places, and that's no joke. But we'll be at that last home game on that Saturday, which will be against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Should be a lot of fun. Shout out to everybody that's helped us out. here recently, and some of the crew on the show. Like I said, shout out to Jake Skinner, who is always doing fantastic. You guys have met him at some of these games here. Shout out to John Watts, who does a lot of the reporting for us here, and shout out to the rest of the crew. But that's going to do it for us. We will see you guys next week on BoardCheck. I'm Jeremy the Impact York. Go Bruins. Go Gladiators. Go watch hockey.